Right. Well, the Jags fall, obviously, 28-23. You can look at it however you like, and we encourage your feedback today. I mean, down 22-0. They fight back and have a chance to win the game. Tony Smith, you're a play caller, right? What are we doing with our third-string tailback having a jump ball? And I get that the whole idea of the ball goes where the defense dictates, right, based on the coverage. Okay, but why is Dearness Johnson on the field at that point in time? Is Travis Etienne in the doghouse? Maybe he is. That may be the answer because I think you want the dual threat guy who can catch it out of the backfield there. Now, if you're going to try to pound it in, you might have Tank in there, but they're moving the ball. They think they need to be in hurry up. They get down there. Now, all of a sudden, it's time to calm down, Dave, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a 1:42 on the clock.
We
always want to slow things down a little bit here, right?
Let's make some good plays here. Let's give ourselves an opportunity to where we don't have to throw a jump ball to one of our running backs and our third-string running back at that. You get in a situation, the defense is going to dictate and tell you where to go with the ball, but I don't know how many times it tells you to go to the running back on a jump ball. Now, if it's press coverage and it's a linebacker there like it was, and you throw a fade down the field because he's outrun kind of like how Saquon did,
sure,
then you make that throw. But not in a situation where you're saying you go up with the linebacker and go make the play. And if that is the situation, give your player the best chance to go get this ball. It's either him or nobody.
Or the pylon. Like the front pylon.
Right, like low into the outside because he's got basically Nakobe Dean's behind him.
You threw it to where the guy was, not where he wasn't.
Yeah. And the way Dearness reacted when he turned around to find where the ball was in the air, it's like he thought because of the position of Dean on the play, if he's going to throw to me, it's going to be behind me.
Like back shoulder
right?
almost.
Like that's the way he reacted to it on the play. And then everyone's going, why? What? Like everyone's reacting to obviously the worst result you could have, potentially on that play. But there was a lot wrong, running that play in that situation, given where they were in the game. But I do think there's something to this team in that situation. And it felt like almost panic to we have to score.
Yeah.
And any way that we are going to do it, we have to do it now. Like the next play is the most important play of the game when I do think they were in a situation where it didn't have to be. Right? Like you could have run the ball in that situation and tried to use up some of the clock. But I think given the way the season has played out in similar situations, they're like, if we try to play it that way, we might not score. Right? Like that's in their head all the time.
Unless it's fourth down and you don't have a chance time is running out and you can't get a first down, that is your time where you've got to throw something up, kind of like Drake May when he scrambled around for 25 seconds and just let it go because your coaches tell you all the time, look, it's fourth down. We don't have any more plays after this.
This is it.
Put the ball in the end zone and just pray somebody goes and makes a play. But that wasn't the time for that. We had more plays. We had more downs.
Tons of momentum.
Everything. And that's where, as a quarterback, you don't want to make a bad play because he sees the matchup there. Maybe just I'll sail it over his head because he's there and I don't know anybody else to get the ball to. And we'll just fight on the next down.
I think it started really at the beginning of that drive. And we talked about it a little bit on the postgame, right? Fred Taylor said, hey, look, we got 2:11 here.
Yeah.
Got all the time you want, right? You got timeouts. You got the ball at the 47 of your own 47. So you got to go 53 yards. You don't have to go 83 yards here.
Yep.
And it was like, intermediate deep. And then they get the PI, which great. That's fantastic. But it felt like they just felt like they had like 37 seconds left, right? And they much less time.
Every play they had to score
had to get a first down,
play.
had to get a chunk every single time. Look, but it worked out and then they do get the big play to Austin Trammell, and they're set up at the 13-yard line. And look, I don't want to just focus on that one play. It's the one that basically ended the game, so it's glaring, but there are a lot. Austin Trammell can't have it. I don't care if it's your first touch of the season. You cannot fumble that punt. And it was a great hit. No question about it. Give credit to the guy who made it. But, you catch it a half second later, you're getting blown up. Well, either you've got to be aware enough of that guy bearing down on you that you fair catch it or, got to be able to make him miss or at least hold on to the football.
It's amazing how if you haven't played all year and then your first time is a situation that impacts you like that, like the speed of the game, they don't realize it until it happens and they're like, oh, shoot, I did not. Because when do you ever practice that kind of speed of somebody hitting you like that?
No one will ever
Never.
hit
You
like
don't
that.
practice it in practice like that. So that just shows you that you got to be ready and on your game the moment you step in between those white lines.
And I did think, and it's hindsight now, but I did think at the time, like, at least Parker Washington can handle the first punt of the game because it's not like he's exhausted, right? I mean, we hasn't had a touch yet.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, make sure you secure the ball. You just got to stop. You got some momentum against a Philly team that had not scored in the first quarter all year. So let them continue to dwell on that for a while. Like, oh, my gosh, man, what is going on? And let them get in their own heads. But a lot of mistakes by the Jags, some really good plays as well. Trayvon Walker, I mean, I think if they review that 100 times, I feel like 97 times he's down by contact, Saquon, but I'm happy for the touchdown. Ventrell got the hand in there, and they ruled that it was a stumble that caused Saquon to go down.
And it was weird because he hit his leg, but it didn't look like that was starting his go down.
And that's what they ruled.
He ran into the guy in front of him, and then that started him going down. Because they replayed it, so they had a chance to see the guy's hand swipe him. But they were like, man, that didn't cause him.
It was a fairly quick replay as well for as complicated as the play it was.
I think it was because of the reasoning they had used to say it was a fumble, right? They said, right, when they had ruled it that way, that they said because it was a stumble that caused him to go down. And so when they replayed it, they said, yeah, clearly stumble. And I'm like, every time they replayed it, I was like, buddy, hit him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't get, like, the first time they replayed it on TV, I was like, this isn't going to be a fumble.
Yeah.
The first time they showed it, and then they explained it again, and then the guy explained it after the game. Like, the rationale for why they didn't overturn it, I was like, this feels like one of those where the league is going to do something about that kind of play, where they actually have a little bit more discretion than, well, we said that, so, and that's kind of what happened, so we're sticking to it.
Yeah.
Like, I think in the future, that's the kind of play that isn't going to be allowed to go that way, but I'm glad it did. For the Jags,
right?
They desperately needed it.
The next play after that, Cisco almost picks off
I
Hurts.
know it,
and if he gets that, that team is mentally going, oh my gosh, what has just happened to us, right? And, and look, it almost happened anyway.
Yeah.
It did.
And
should have.
Let's talk about the return by Trayvon there. I mean, what ability, what athleticism. He made so many guys miss. It almost looked like he was Saquon out
Him
there.
bouncing off those guys.
Yes.
Something else. Like, that was wild.
Tremendous play. Gave him a chance after, 31 yards in the first half for the offense. There's a lot to dig into today. As Dennis Allen, head coach of the Saints, who opened 2-0, and I remember at least one or two calls early in the season, Tony. Why didn't we go out and hire Clint Kubiak, right, who was the offense coordinator who got hired in New Orleans, and they put up tons of points the first 2 weeks of the season, and they have not won a game since. Nope. So going in the wrong direction. Not official draft talk, but the Jags are holding the number 2 pick if the draft were to be today. You know why? Because you got all these.
Soon enough.
They're like 7 teams tied with a 2-7 record, right? But the Jags have the second weakest schedule that has produced a 2-7 record. 5 losses by 5 points or less. That's 2 more than any other team in the National Football League right now. So, got that going for us. 641-1010. No Victory Monday shirts today, kids. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, Mia here, and thanks so much for watching 1010XL Jaguars. For even more coverage of the Big Cats, be sure to subscribe to 1010XL Jaguars.